and welcome to Interview with the Theatres des Vampires. I am here, I am Ray Gore, and I'm here with Joseph Potter, who plays Nicolas de Lenfent, who I would argue is the founder of the Theatres, to be honest. At least he's advertising it, you know,
I named
loudly.
it. I
You
named it.
did. You did. Yeah, loudly. So thank you so much for thank you so much for taking your time to speak with me today. I know you got some shows going on, and you are the first on-screen Nicki I have the privilege to speak to. This is really wild to me. I never thought in my almost 20 years as a fan that I would ever get to do this. So, and you represent him beautifully.
Oh,
I
thank you.
just have to say.
Thank you
And
so much.
yeah, and it's also important that this relationship is between him and Lestat is a explicitly romantic one, which is also not something I ever thought I would get to see.
Mm.
And we'll get to that a bit later, but I just wanted to know, did you expect this kind of fan reaction to having Nicola on our screens?
No, it was. I mean, it was the. I mean, the reaction I've had has been so lovely. It's been kind of nothing but supportive and really gorgeous and generous. Like even from like the first moment that I found out and people found out that I'd be playing the part, like people kind of reaching out and being very generous. And it's also really lovely at the moment having a show and having people come and see the show and then waiting at stage door after and that's I'm really liking that part because they're coming to see other bits of my work and seeing and other parts and just being gorgeous and generous in that respect. So the reaction has been so lovely. I was it's kind of quite a big burden to take on when I became aware of the books because I didn't know about them prior to my audition. I was then like, oh God, this it means a lot to a lot of people. So I was quite kind of scared to step into those shoes, and
Yeah.
also just kind of worried about doing a French accent, which I haven't seen too much discourse online about my it being bad. So I'm gonna say it was okay.
I'm not a French expert, but I think you did a
Neither
great
am
job.
I.
So, yeah, well, and I heard you kind of became like an expert at the Vampire Lestat book because you did have since season two to
Yeah, I was
really
sat
get to
on it
know
for.
Nikki.
I really kind of sat with that book and just kind of became enamored with it and read it over and over again. And I think, like you said about it being like wanting to do the character justice, just kind of going through and noting things quite like explicitly over and over again and trying to like find parallels between scenes that are in the books and scenes that appear in the show and trying to steal bits from what Anne writes. So I think I did that um, as well as I could.
Yeah, I really enjoyed which maybe to casual viewers, but the parts where Nikki and Lestat are both human, and
Yeah.
seeing the because in the books they have a very fascinating relationship because they have very different philosophies on life, and I feel
Mm,
like that shapes how they become vampires later on.
mm.
It's like their personalities get exaggerated. That's
Yeah.
how it feels to me, and I really like I was taking in as much as I could from those small moments at the
Yeah.
tavern and stuff. So I know this is kind of maybe a bit of an odd question, but there's a moment in the Your Biggest Fan montage where Nikki and Lestat are having like a heated argument. And as a
Yeah.
fan, I really wanted to know what that argument
What
was
was being
about.
said?
Yes, could you share that?
There was stuff being said, if I'm honest. It feels so long ago now that I'm
I
like, what were
know.
we arguing about? There was text that was written.
It's
I
okay if you don't remember. I
hon
know this is the memory of the
honestly
monster.
sometimes I worry about myself because I feel like I have a memory of a small goldfish. And I struggle to remember what was said yesterday.
No, no,
Um,
that's
but
okay.
it was definitely, you know what? It was probably within it was definitely centered in his jealousy um,
Okay.
about. kind of Lestat's relationship to the theatre, and I think he was kind of jealous of it's all kind of seeded in the book, isn't it? About how kind of Lestat's star rises and Nicki kind of stays the same, if not descends.
Yeah.
And that was very much at the core of it.
Yeah, okay. No, I was very curious because I do like that aspect that he's like, this shining star, and then
Totally.
he also gets these flowers from who we assume is Magnus, and
Mm.
a bottle of wine, which I think
Yeah.
Lestat just kind of grabbed it and just didn't really think about who it was from. And
Yeah.
so there's also another aspect about their human relation, and I don't know if you know anything about this. It just if I don't ask, it'll drive me insane.
Yeah, that's
There's a moment in season two where we see a plaque of like Nikki's birth and death years, and so which indicates that they have like about a 9 year age gap. And I was wondering if this was something ever discussed. Why are you laughing?
no,
I just
no,
wanted
no,
to so.
no, 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 no. It was that. I think I can say that it was. I remember getting a text from Rollin being like, how old are you going to be like next year? And I was like this. I was like this. He was like, okay, cool, yeah. And so like that date was born out of my age,
Oh, okay,
upon when we would be shooting season three. So he was like, so that age, that time is how old Nikki is relevant to me. So
okay,
like they made him my age, which is
okay,
and that just so happens to be the gap, I guess. Yeah.
okay. So it's not
I
something
think
that
it
was ever
works.
discussed.
I think it's not I think it's nice that like that just feeds into the fact that Nicky feels eclipsed by Lestat is because he is just kind of older and more mature and knows how to deal with these things
Yeah, I think so
later
too. I
down the
think that makes
line.
it really interesting. Yeah. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for telling me that. I've been curious about that since 3 years ago.
Yeah, why
So
is that? Why have they made it? It was like I'm just that age.
you just, I mean, it's 1700s France, so it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's not too many people that Lestat can relate to as well as he can with Nikki, I feel like, and so it all worked out. So thank you for answering that.
Pleasure.
So I had some questions about Muse Nikki because that was really cool. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
seeing this like wild version of Nikki. So I wanted to know how you approached that, how you went from like Lestat's memory
Yeah.
to the Muse version of Nikki.
I think like there was so there's like I very much like when we see Nicky as a muse, he's a vampire. Um and when there's I think there's only one scene within the memory where I am a vampire and there that's the scene where I chop my hand. He's a vampire there. And I remember like reading in the books like the kind of descriptions of he feels like so animalistic, like the descriptions of his expressions and just the way he will kind of snarl and go at people. Like I was like, cool. So I want to carry that into my vampiric version of Nikki because it feels slightly other in terms of like he's like because of the vampirism just oozes out that kind of madness and makes it
Yeah,
all come to the forefront. So I was like, I
interesting.
want that, and then also then Musniki is Lestat's manifestation of the thing that causes him the most pain. So it's going to be the most provocative, most kind of outlandish, horrible, like kind of mad version that we see. And I think that we got there. Like there was so many great days where and it's kind of the dynamic between me and Sam is like he's like, do I look at him? Like do you know what I mean? It's like because he's
Yeah.
trying to ignore me in those he's
Yeah.
like he doesn't want to
The
see
big
me but
boss
yeah and I'm too like I'm doing too much to not be
to
looked at. It's
ignore.
like oh God, yes, but that bit it was all
Yeah.
so much fun and
Yeah.
it kind of leans into the that kind of dark comedic aspect of the show that has really been kind of brought out this season where you're not quite sure whether to laugh or cry. It's just
Yeah. I really love that scene of Big Boss where he's like,
when I'm
because
screaming in his
yeah,
ear.
you're screaming in his ear, but then also the part where he's going out to burn himself and you're just staring at him. And
Yeah.
it's very fascinating because there's a lot of ways to interpret that scene. And to me, it was kind of like that he was mocking Lestat, like, okay, you're gonna make a diss track about this guy that you cheated on me with.
Mm,
I know what really happened. I know what happened at Hotel de Ville. So, so,
mm,
so I thought that that scene was very interesting. That like his kind of mocking towards that. Um, and I also want to talk about the long table.
mm.
How was that to interact with a bunch of characters that normally none of them would be ever be seen with
I
each
mean, I
other?
was so excited, like just on like an act, like as like an actor on like to just be at that table with like all those people. You
Yeah.
know, you had Sam, Jacob, Jennifer, Sarah, Maura, like all of these people, especially like having watched season one. And I never, I never thought I would I never thought I would get to like be in a scene with Jacob, let alone like have interactions with him. So on that respect, it
Yeah.
was just like
I
really
love that
amazing.
part. I love that. I know it's just like one sentence y'all have together, but I was like really excited to see Louis and Nikki interacting.
Yeah.
Do you think Lestat sees similarities between them?
I think so. Like I mean, in the books, there's there's constant references to them being to them being similar
Yeah.
in nature. Um,
Hmm.
and so I think they are. I think again, Louis is probably has the I don't know quite how to word it, but that he he can withstand slightly more. That he like
Mm. Yeah.
Louis doesn't jump in a fire
No,
like
he doesn't. Well, either jump in a fire or was pushed, right?
or was
We didn't
hurled.
actually, yeah, we don't actually see what happened. So I'm just saying, if we get more flashbacks, memory is a monster. So I
I
wouldn't
won't be
mind.
angry.
Yeah, I wouldn't be angry with a Theatrists Vampires 1700s spinoff. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. So yeah, and so since we're talking about the books, is there a scene from the book that you would like to do? Maybe just one that we didn't get to see in this season. What would be a scene that you would have liked to do?
There's loads. It kind of constantly changes. I think I referenced to someone else. There's like this when Lestat and Gabriella leave and they're left and Lestat receives the letter from is it Eleni or something? I can't I think
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then it's like our oldest friend and Armand ties him to the chair and takes his hands because he wouldn't stop playing. I mean that would be that would relate to again memory's a monster, an unreliable narrator. That would be that's something that really interests me. I think there's something interesting in uh Nicki and Gabriella's relationship. There's a scene in
Hmm.
the book where Nicki's first turned and he becomes very catatonic, and there's a really gorgeous moment where um because Lestat makes me, he can't hear my inner thoughts, but Gabriella can. And there's moments
Hmm.
where they're talking without him knowing. And I think
Yeah.
that's really, really interesting. And there's a possibility that that relationship there's a gentleness there, even though, you don't quite know what's going on. And then there's the scene in the Théâtre de Vampire where he's playing maniacally and then all the people they come
Yes.
and dance with him and I mean that's like it's his guitar solo,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much like
There's so many.
there's so like it's that character was such a joy to play. And the book is such a gift and it's I could
Yeah.
just go on and list every scene really.
Yeah, I mean it's basically 75 of the book, 75% of the book you're in it. So there's a lot of dense knowledge to go from. Personally, I really like, which they kind of turned into modern day, but I really like the scene where Lestat gets shot in the theater, and Nicki thinks that like he's just seeing his
Yes.
boyfriend die
Yes. And
before
then
his
he's like,
eyes.
what? Oh my God. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
just, and it's like, and I think seeing
And then
like
that's when he knows he's other. Yeah. That's when he knows he's this otherworldly
yeah,
creature.
yeah, and that his his I don't know how to phrase it, but his insanity isn't just something that comes up, but it's something that's like gradual. And
Mm.
I would really like to see that. I thought that that was really interesting. So yeah, I have a lot of questions about what happened there, especially I'm a big Lestat and Armand dynamic fan. So, Nikki keeps telling me that other things happen and but then Lestat is saying that, oh no, this is just a situationship. But I'm like, well, was it? Because they seem to have a closer relationship according to Nikki. So,
Mm.
I want to, what are your
What my
thoughts on
stance
that?
is. I think
Yeah.
like, when doing it, like I believe it utterly
Yeah.
because Nikki believes it utterly.
Hmm.
I think I think there's I think the exploration of Nikki that we saw, I think is it was mainly like manifested in jealousy,
Mm,
and it's the jealousy that drives him mad, but also that the jealousy is rooted in a place of love, right? Because he feels Lestat is Lestat's light is the thing that gives Nikki purpose. And so if
mm,
anyone else is trying to or even shows a glimmer of that light, then
mm.
I am fuming. I am not happy boy.
You
But I
hear their
think
hearts dancing?
I can hear them dancing. God, yeah. Lestat and Nikki aren't too dissimilar in that respect,
No,
actually.
they're very
Um,
similar. Nikki's almost the Lestat of their relationship, almost. He's kind of a mixture of Louis and Lestat,
yeah, yeah.
in a way, I think. Um, yeah, that I really love that relationship, so I really wanted to ask about that. And I wanted to also know. So my friend runs the Vampire Chronicles account on Instagram. So he
Oh
had a
yeah,
question.
cool.
He's a huge fan of Nicki, and he had a question for you. Are there any specific traits about Nicki or his story that resonates with you personally?
Oh God, good one. Wow. Are there any traits or parts of what was it again?
Are there any traits or part of his story that resonates with you personally?
I want to try and answer this without sounding like really like self-absorbed.
We love that. We want to
I
know
think
all
there's
about you.
something like I've like that like I wouldn't say I am, but like there's something about like this like tortured artist. I'm not saying I'm a tortured artist because I'm not, but that kind of that kind of like dedication like to your craft and pursuit of that. Um and the kind of expression and me and like meaning to like wake up every day and kind of and do something that matters to you and only through Nicky's music can he then understand the world. Like he doesn't necessarily feel like he has the kind of like capacity to like understand it other than through this music. And like I feel like that about, about kind of the art that I attempt to do. And again, the more I speak about it, the more wanky it sounds.
No, it's not.
But
It's not at all.
but
The
that's
tor
yeah, that was the one that came to my mind. I mean, I feel like just like yeah, it didn't. It's weird, like when you have some like when things line up and when this part comes, when I got this part, it's like you audition a lot and then you get one and you're like, it makes sense. Like it actually like isn't a huge jump because the soul of you and the character is actually closer than you think upon inspection. I hope that is kind of an answer.
No, that's a beautiful answer. I think I think being tortured by your own art is something that everybody can relate to personally.
Mm.
So thank you for that, for being vulnerable with that. And I also wanted to know about the violin. Did you also did you take any violin lessons for the
Y-
part?
Yeah, so obviously we had a lot. I had some lessons when I was in Prague, and there was moments where I'm playing in Prague, and I got from getting the part to then shooting, it was quite short. So I didn't have a lot of time. I kind of got to Prague, and then they were like, "You're going to play the violin," and I was like, "Damn, okay." So then I had a teacher out there, and he kind of tried to make me as good as possible, but apart like. So we would have the track in the background, and then I would then mime it. In Prague, I my main focus was the bowing, and to try and make the bowing look as good. And then I was trying to include fingers, but I fundamentally could not do both. I have so much respect for anyone who plays the violin now. I mean, I'm kind of musically useless.
Yeah.
Um, like
You've
really, really, I'm really bad musically, you know.
You've gotten a lot of praise for the fake violin playing,
I had,
honestly.
yeah, I had someone the other day who came to see the show, and they are a violinist, and they were like, they were, I mean, I don't believe this. I do not, but they were like, it's the best violin playing I've seen on a screen in like ages. And I was like, that means so much because I just didn't want to look like an idiot. I was like, I need to look like I'm really good. And so we shot in, when did we start? June, something like that, last year. And I started less, I was doing them myself, and I started in like December. So I went through, but I was kind of hounding people. I was trying to hound my agent to see if I could get earlier ones, but I was like, no, I'll do it myself. And then when I got out there, I had another amazing teacher called Marcus who was fantastic, and he just really took his time with me, and I got better and better. And like again, just trying to do the bowing. I mean, if you were to listen to what I play, it's horrendous. But if you look at it and they match it and sync it, it looks okay.
You're
And
like
I
the
could go,
manifestation of fake it till you make it.
it is. It's fake it till you make it. That's acting, baby.
Yeah, that's acting. I mean, the French accent as well. Like, I don't know. I mean, it sounded good to me. I mean, to me, you are Nicki. So, I mean, that you can't fake. I mean, I mean it. I think that you're the most perfect Nicki we've ever
Oh,
had.
bless you.
Seeing as he's the
Bless
only,
you.
you're also the only one
I'm the
that
only
I've.
one.
Yeah, you're also
I'm
well,
one.
yeah.
I'm one out of one.
You're one out
You're
of
the
one.
best.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Little Stop musical.
Oh God,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I've never
yeah.
seen that. Never seen
Yeah, it's good, but within this version their relationship is a lot more explicit with Lestat, which thankfully, because otherwise I just feel like it would not have mattered to the story if Nikki and
Yeah,
Lestat were just friends. It just
yeah.
doesn't make
Totally.
sense.
It's
Yeah.
no, it doesn't. There's the
Yeah.
cost. The cost is gone. They
Yeah,
have
the
to do
cost
that.
is gone. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would really love to I know Nikki is not in Queen of the Damned for the upcoming season, but I would love to see more Ghost Nikki in the future. I know a lot of us would. He's a fan favorite, so we would love to
I
see
had
more of
very,
you if you come
I had a
around.
I had a very, very fun time, on season three, and I'm so pleased for everyone that they've got season four because it's just going to be amazing. I mean, who knows what will happen, but
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely thrilled because like there's a lot of good stuff coming. Akasha,
Oh
come
gosh.
on. I mean,
Yeah.
we were there. I was there with Assad and Delaney, like watching it when that scene, and we were just all like this. It was like it was just insane because like
Oh
doing
my
the show, you
gosh.
become a fan of like the book and
Yeah.
everything yourself. You're like, I can't wait to see
Yeah.
this. And what if they did that? Like it's just amazing. And Hannah
Yeah.
is, Hannah's gonna absolutely like just blow it out the water. She is incredible.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. Before we wrap up, I know that you are still doing shows at I'm gonna it's Much Ado About Nothing, right? Yes. Okay. So you were still doing shows at Much Ado About Nothing at the Globe Theatre in London. So if you're around, please go see him. I'm sure it is absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Pleasure,
It's
Ray.
been
Thank you. Like you were there like the first like one of my first days on set in season two, and now like we're doing this interview like after, so it just feels like a really nice full circle moment. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. And well, I hope to talk to you again for whatever else you have coming up in the future. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.